What's up, everybody? Zach is back with another episode of Journey to a Million. Actually, we're going to do something a little bit different today. Some people have been asking. They want to know how I got started investing. So I don't have... I wasn't really going to do a video like this, but a lot of people want to see, and I don't really feel like it's that interesting, but of course, I get it, though. So hopefully this is an alright video. But yeah, anyways, I first moved to China when I finished university, and I there back in then it was 2011, and I was in Texas, and there was just no job prospects. It was really difficult for me to find work at that time, and I was struggling getting through school, and just life in general was dull and uninteresting, and I wanted to do something special. I wanted to do something great. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see different things. And also I wanted to make some money, to be honest with you, because I totally was broke. I didn't have anything. And so, I just went online. I Googled what's the easiest country to get a job. And the answer was China. So that's the reason why I came. And so after some time living I moved to Shanghai when I first got there. Work was really not interesting. Well, I didn't like it. I hated it, actually, for the first minute. It was tough at that point. And of course, China has changed so much now. But pretty much I just hustled. I had some side hustles. Back in Texas, I always had a side hustle. I had this business going. I wanted to start this business, flipping cars, fixing up trucks, doing social media marketing. I remember I dabbled in this at one point, but it was all really stupid ideas, and nothing really worked out. But nevertheless, when I moved to Shanghai, basically was the same. I taught some English on the side. I taught music because I have a background in music. And, I just did a bunch of things like that. And then, of course, try the exporting thing. If I hear someone wants to buy something from China, and then, okay, so I can sell them because I'm here and I can find out where all the factories are. And so basically just hustling, no matter what it was, I was always just hustling. I remember the most interesting one when I was like an actor, and I play the part of a doctor, although I knew I was an actor and my boss knew I was an actor, but everybody else didn't know I was an actor. So I mean, of course there's all these weird things going on here, and it's pretty common they want a foreigner to be the face of some companies, and this specific company was like a medical device company. And they made this really funny story. They made a huge poster with like my face on it and my doctor clothes and some spectacles, and it just had like my degrees, my medical degrees on it, and that I even performed a facelift on Tom Cruise and just and Michael Jackson. It was crazy, and I'm just so surprised that people believe that. But you know what? That was a long time ago. It's not really like that anymore, at least. I'm sure it is somewhere in rural parts of China where they don't really ever see foreigners. But but that's basically what I was doing. I was doing whatever would make money. And then it was around that time where I was making some money. To be honest with you, I was doing all right. I was probably making around maybe $2,000 to $3,000 per month. I was doing all right, and at that time, being in my early 20s, that was great, and I was having fun for the most part, and I was having a cool experience and learning some of the culture and the language and things like that. So it was a good time. I made a lot of friends, and a lot of foreign friends, and it was cool hanging out in the very, very cool hanging out in Shanghai in the early 2010s. It was good stuff. But I was making this money, and it wasn't that much, obviously, and I had to pay my rent, and I had to eat, and have fun. But I would take the extra money I had, and I started buying Bitcoin at that time. Yeah. And this was early 2010s, and so I basically just turned most of my extra money, or just basically I put everything in Bitcoin, because I didn't really want RMB at that time. Of course, like I need some to buy food and stuff, and pay my rent. But for the most part, I wasn't really interested in that. And I wanted to, because I eventually thought that I was going to move back to the States, which is funny because I still think that, and I actually haven't. But anyways, so that's pretty much what I did. I just converted all my money into Bitcoin, beside my life necessity money, and so I did that for years. And I liked Bitcoin at the time, and at that time it was basically only Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency, and nobody knew about it, especially in China. Nobody knew what it was. They thought that it was super unsafe, and of course, this was like 2012-ish, 2011, 2012, 2013. And, I didn't care because it was just a store of value for me that I could easily access, and I could sell for cash anytime I needed to, because I knew some people in China, some Chinese guys that were really into it. And actually now they've gone on to be pretty important cryptocurrency people in Asia. They have exchanges. They have a lot of their own DeFi tokens, and they're doing a lot of stuff. So, and that was back in the day when we were just buying and selling literally on the street or in a coffee shop for cash. And it's funny because I would actually have to have many times I would bring a backpack with me and just fill it up with the local currency, but that was a long time ago. And of course, the banking was really simple. Then if I needed to put this money in the bank, nobody asked any questions. So those are great times. I can assure you, those are really good times to be in cryptocurrency in China. Well, and then it started taking off. Bitcoin, wow, it's going up a lot. And so I was really excited about that. I didn't care. I was like, okay, whatever, just keep my coins. I don't need to sell it. I don't have any plans to sell it. So I just let it go. And I still remember when Bitcoin was $200. I remember very clearly. And one of my best friends sold when it was like $500-600, and we thought that was, God, we doubled the money. We're gonna take some profit. Well, of course I took some profit all along the way, but I had a majority at that point. I still kept, and it was a decent number of Bitcoins. But because it was so cheap back then, I was just buying as much as I could. And I didn't really have a plan at that point in 2012, 2013. I was just doing it. Just as a store of currency, store of value, because I didn't want local currency. I didn't have any need for that. Maybe that's weird, but I liked Bitcoin. And anyways, that's just what I did. And then once it started taking off, it started gaining a lot of popularity. Mining started becoming popular. Well, it was around 2014, 2015, I started a hedge fund in Shanghai. I was one of the first people that had, first foreigners in China, I guess, in Shanghai for sure, that had a cryptocurrency hedge fund. And of course, there's new cryptocurrencies at this point. A lot of interest from the Chinese population here, because Shanghai is the financial capital of China. And there was a lot of interest in it. And that was some of the easiest money I ever made, to be completely honest with you. And I had a hedge fund because a lot of people at that time, even grandmas and grandpas, are talking about it. They want to buy it, but they don't know how to buy it. And okay, well, we can invest it for you. We can do 60% in Bitcoin. We can put 30% in ETH and just split it up between the next 10 or 20 top market cap coins or whatever at that time. And, we were doing things like that. And of course, we were into a few other things, but for the company at that point. And but mostly we were doing that, and that was some of the easiest money I ever made, because Bitcoin at that point was still relatively cheap, very cheap at that point. But it had gone up a decent amount, piqued a lot of interest, and we just bought it. I mean, basically, me and my employees at that time, we just bought it, split it up. Maybe we bought some of this, maybe we bought some of that, and it just took off. And we just sat on it. That was we didn't even trade it. Sometimes we did, but mostly we didn't even trade it, and just let it appreciate. And man, those were good times too. And so we were making a decent money. Asset under management had a decent amount at this point. And I was surprised. And but I was in it so early, so at that point I knew a lot more about it than most people. So yeah, and then the next phase was what happened was Chinese government started cracking down on it, as you guys probably know. Well, if you know about cryptocurrency at least. So they started cracking down on it, and I mean, long story short here, just hard to do it, hard to have a hedge fund. So, and there's nothing really we can do about that. I mean, we would just have been breaking the law if we were managing money in cryptocurrency, which cryptocurrency was never illegal. It was never banned in China. But as far as the managing money as a hedge fund, is illegal. So we had to shut down. So that was really too bad. But we shut it down, and we started doing some other things. And we even went underground for a little bit. But see, that's the issue in China is if you're doing this for, like, if I'm managing the local Chinese people's money. See, I just stopped it all of a sudden. I just stopped. But as far as foreigners and different Americans and Canadians and Europeans, then we still would a little bit. But because the government doesn't care about that as much. But of course, the banking is hard to get a bank and things to move the money around. But it's in cryptocurrency, so it didn't really matter. So much, at least. And coming in the briefcases and the backpacks and the suitcases of like cash. Like, that's just how it was. That's how we had to operate for a while. We didn't really have any choice. But it wasn't technically illegal, but it was very, very gray, and it still is very gray. But anyways, I don't do any of that now. But back in the day, we did a lot of that. And so after that, I mean, we got into the mining. So I was in mining. Oh, must have been 2016, I guess. We started getting into mining a lot and built up some of these, I don't know, we called them farms, called them mining centers. Some people called them data centers, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we had our mining operations, and it wasn't so big as like Bitmain or something like that. But, we were in it for a while, up until the big crash in 2017. We were mining, and then all of a sudden we were mining, and then overnight, none of our machines are profitable, and that's why I have a bias against a lot of those mining companies like Mara and Riot and whatnot, because that is tough business. I know I did for a few years from the run up to the 20,000 in 2017 and the crash. So I got both sides here. And even during the run-up, it's really hard. And I would not recommend it. I probably would have made a lot more money just taking the money and bought Bitcoin. So, but that's just how it is. It was a lot of fun learning about the data centers and how to set them up and the mining machines, and had all the ASIC miners. I was selling a bunch of them. So that was another part of the business. I was selling miners, exporting them all over the world, like the S9s, S11s, whatnot, and even those E-bong ones, which are just suck, But I have experience with that company from back then, and the InnoSilicon, and we did it all. I exported, we mined, we had mines in Sichuan, Western China, because they have the hydropower. We had the mines in Inner Mongolia, and then one point where the government in China will start to crack down even more on the mining, so we moved, and we had to like literally just uproot everything, turn the machines off. It sucks. And if any of you guys know about mining, you'll know that sucks. And we had to turn everything off and then ship everything, which is a huge headache because there's a lot of wires and cables. It's just so messed up. But we had to ship everything out of China to Mongolia. And that's a whole different story, man. That's not an easy thing to do. To like actually outer Mongolia to the country. Because there's a province in China called Inner Mongolia, which is right by Mongolia. And then above it is not China, it's actually Mongolia. But anyways. So we had to do that, and then we mined into Mongolia for a while, and then the crash came in 2017. I was like, guys, don't really like it. We're not really making that much money anyways. But of course, we had a lot of customers that wanted to mine in our data center, so they would purchase the machines, we'd sell the machines, and we put them in our data centers and mine. I thought about getting into the cloud mining at that point, but didn't really want to. More interesting for me was selling the electricity to power the miners. So we had a couple of potential projects that I started working on in North America for hydro and the cheap power, and setting up Chinese companies and whatnot to come to mine in North America and building out a data center for them and procuring them cheap electricity. I mean, basically that was the goal of the business. But I fell out of love with it, and it was very hard. And I feel that for me, usually my style is make the most money the easiest way. And I guess that's easier said than done, but that's just kind of how I've always been. And that's some hard stuff, you know. That everything so far has been really hard except investing in Bitcoin, and then now I invest in the stocks. This I find much easier because I have experience trading Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and the stocks are a lot easier compared to that. Because there's so much more in the news you can read, there's so much more fundamental analysis that you can do, and there's so many more choices and, you know, tangible things. So I find it much easier, and I really like it, and I love it, stocks and whatnot. But of course, the majority of my investment career from when I was really young up until now, I've always done cryptocurrency. And so you might find it weird, why don't I have a cryptocurrency channel? Because to be honest with you, I like stocks even more because of like what I just said. And so I've had good success in stocks as well. If you've been following along, and a lot of you guys are new, you might just be coming over, or even when the GameStop, all these meme stock hype started taking off. Maybe you guys found my channel, but yeah, I've been doing it. I've been on my journey to $1 million long before that. But nevertheless, you know, I got started back in the day. A lot of people ask me, how much money did I start with? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a good question. And back in the day when I first was in China, and I didn't have any money when I first got here, but I had all these hustles, right? And so the very first thing I did was I found someone that wanted to buy something from China in Canada actually, and then I didn't have any money to buy the thing that he wanted, which was cheap. It's just like an item or two. It's not like a huge shipment. And I didn't. It cost $500. It cost a couple $100, and I didn't have any money to buy it first, pay for the shipping, and ship it to him, and then get paid later. Because typically the customer might put 30% down, and then you use the 30% to buy it. But anyways, so this guy actually loaned me the $500. He paid me all in advance. I used it to buy the stuff, and then shipped it to him, and that's how I first made money on my investment experience. So that's why I always like to joke and say that, yes, I actually started from negative $500 because that's what, technically that's exactly how I started, because I literally didn't have any money. Like I just had a hard time saving up for the flights initially just to get to China. Yeah. So, but hey, that everybody's got to hustle, you know. I guess I am a hustler at heart. And it's a lot of fun for me because I can always learn new things, and I don't have to be stuck in the same rut for the rest of my life. So for me, it's enjoyable, and we're making good money, and money is not the hardest thing to make in the world. Everybody has money. Everybody's making money. Just depends on how much, of course. But I always try to find ways to make it the easiest as possible with the less work. And I've done some things that are very, very difficult, and I've done some things that are very easy. And I try to stick with the latter now that I have some money and I'm financially secure and stable. Of course, I don't want to, I don't want to do anything hard, and I don't want to start some new company and go out and just, have to work very hard at something. I prefer to take it a little bit easy, just like I'm retired or something. I got an early retirement, retired before I'm 30. And, I just do what I enjoy now, which is stocks and crypto, but more so stocks now. But that's basically it. And you know what? I do the one-on-ones. And that's basically the only way I make money out of this business that I have. Mostly focused on content creation on YouTube, the blogs, and my website, my website is not monetized. And YouTube is monetized, but I only make a couple dollars per video. But so yeah, I'm not really in it for the money for this, but I do the one-on-one. So if anybody wants to buy some of my time, chit chat, get some advice on your portfolios, I can teach you how to do options, all the different types of strategies, condors, butterflies, whatnot. Then you can book a session with me. So go ahead and follow the link in the description. You can DM me on Twitter for this, Discord. All the links are in the description. The contact section on my website you can also hit me up at, and I will reply if you want that. But that's really the only thing, and it's not expensive. I think it's relatively cheap, so I'm not really doing this for money, but it's a lot of fun for me, and got a lot of free time because of the COVID, and I knew I wanted to make YouTube videos anyways. So that's kind of where I am right now. You know, if it would be much easier for me to not do any of this for you guys, and I'm trying to help you guys out, you know, really, and try to help everybody to make money in the stock market, because I don't think it's that hard, and especially from my experience before in the past, for the past 10 years, this is the easiest thing I've done, beside buying Bitcoin early on. This is pretty much the easiest thing I've done. And I think everybody can easily do it. Yes. Investments for everyone, and make your portfolio relevant. Those are the two mottos that I try to follow from my old company, and then one from this new one. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. So I'm pretty much making these videos now. It's something that I like to do. Later in my, I get asked a lot that what will I do after I get to $1 million? Well, to be honest with you, I've already gotten to $1 million. You guys are kind of late for the party. And usually when I do that, I divest, I take money out of the stocks, and then I buy real estate, rental properties, small apartment, triplex, duplex, quadplex, whatever, or single family homes. It doesn't matter. And usually I just use cash, buy one, you know, or maybe two if it's a good year. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing that all along, by the way, but I think most of you guys probably know that now. I really love real estate too. And I started getting into real estate when I was during the phase of my career where we were transitioning Chinese mining companies into North American, and that had North America, and that had things that had to do with real estate and electricity and stuff like that. But after that, and I really love real estate, I bought a few properties of my own, and I like it. And, you know, I will continue doing that. And then there will be some point where I take a break. And there will be some point in this journey, after the journey, or whenever, there will be some point where I take a break for a few months. I'm not really sure how long, but I will take some time off. I need to enjoy my life as well. And because, you know, it's a lot of work, even though, you know, I really do enjoy doing this, and making money is always really fun. And helping people make money is more fun for me because I've already made money. And money is not the most important thing in life, but it kind of is though. So whoever's saying that, they probably don't have any. But it is kind of important. And once you do have the money, then you are free to do whatever else you want, because you're not a slave and you're not dependent on making money for other people. So you make your own money for yourself. I really do believe that passive income is important. But that's just my style, you know. And so yeah, anyways, make the videos, but there will be a time where I take some time off. But that's in the future, a long time from now. And then in the later part of my life, then I will shut everything down and go travel the world. Probably start another YouTube channel, and just travel vlog. That's really interesting for me. I've already traveled a lot, and I love it. And I should have filmed it, and I will next time. And I will just take off now that I have a lot of passive income coming in. I can keep my stock investments in my good old Soxel, Teckle, Teachable Q, whatever, right? ARC, and then my real estate passive income, and then just go, you know, just go and don't stop. And I'll probably vlog it. Maybe I'll start a new channel like Bald and Bankrupt, or Harold Balder, I don't know, something like that. But I really enjoyed those channels actually. But anyways, guys, hope you like this video. I don't know if it's really interesting. I personally like talking about making money, although I guess we kind of did talk about making money. But it's just my money, it's not your guys' money. So my number one goal is to help you guys make money, and try not to lose so much. My portfolio has already bounced back from the dip. Let's learn what we can do from the next dip. Check the video that I made yesterday and the one before to go over. Let's reflect on the dip. What can we take away from it? What can we learn for the next dip, which will happen probably in the summertime, I assume. But anyways, guys, see you on the other side. Peace.